Good morning, everyone, on this Friday morning, this very crisp, cold Friday morning, January 3rd. Um, if you have ever listened to any of my other videos, and I'm not asking you to go do that, but if you happen to be somebody who has subscribed to me before and have listened to them, you've heard me talk about how I receive messages from songs. This is how Source communicate and my higher self communicates with me about things to pay attention or know, or to heal in myself or whatever. So, this video is about the songs that I heard this morning and the messages that aren't just for me, they're for all of you and anyone else that this is supposed to reach today. I do have another video that I recorded yesterday, but just didn't have the time to post because Thursdays are a client day. That will actually post later on today. So the songs I heard this morning, there were two, and they were like mixing and matching together. And I was like, is that one song or two songs? The one song I knew because I had heard that before and I had understood the message of it. So I'm going to kind of change the lyrics a little bit so that you understand what is being shared with me. So the song is "Oh Holy Night" by Celine Dion is the version that I hear. And let, let me back up. Between like the beginning of December and Christmas, I heard Christmas songs in my head every day. Um, Kelly Clarkson just constantly repeating, and I just kind of, okay, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. But because they were happening every day, I didn't really find any messaging to share because it just felt like I call it Source's radio. Like I'm just plugged into Source and I'm just getting that feed. It's like on a radio station. Well, I haven't heard Christmas songs since Christmas, which was about 9 days ago. So this morning when I woke up and heard Christmas songs, I thought, like this is something um, new, or there's some messaging in here that I need to understand. So the first song is Celine Dion's "Oh Holy Night," and it can be any version of that. That's the version that I hear in my head. That was the version that I heard, and it was mixing with Josh Groban's. Anyways, I forgot the name. It's not a normal Christmas song name, but I will post that below. But at the end of the song, the lyrics are "Heavenly angels sing," and I just kept hearing those few verses of him singing over and over and over again, mixing with the Celine Dion "Oh Holy Night." So what does that mean? Here we are 9 days later from Christmas. What does that mean? And if you know those songs, you understand what the messaging is. And if you don't, I'm going to drop the links below in the description and you can go listen for yourself. But here's the messaging, okay? In the songs, they talk about the king or Christ or all those things. But really, it is the return to love. That is what part of 2025 is in the year of the snake is to return to love. Now, this is not unconditional love. It is certainly not conditional love or transactional love. It is definitely not that, but it's not even unconditional love. This is universal love. It just is. There's nothing else. And when you surrender to this, magic happens around you. It's like it's it's all that is. And until you have really allowed yourself to feel that, and we all have the ability to do this, this is not something that is just for me or anyone particular. We all can feel this because we are made of this. So there's a part of the Oh Holy Night song that talks about um, falling to your knees. And when I first heard this song, it kind of gave me, I don't really want to fall to my knees to anyone because I understand that there's no hierarchy and that in sources from sources perspective. There's no hierarchy of anything. There's nothing or no one to fall to your knees to. And when I sat with it, and this is back in December when I first heard the song, I heard it's not falling to your knees to anyone particular, it's falling to your knees to love. It is allowing yourself to crack open to the energy of love, allowing yourself to surrender to love, to become who you have always been. You are that love. Your soul is made of that love. And it is waiting for you to touch it again, to explore it again, see what's possible in there. But, and it does live in our heart space. So fall to your knees with your hands over your heart. And it's, for some of you, that might be hard. Like, how can I get to love in a world that maybe is very chaotic or divided or separated or maybe not peaceful? But, and this has to do with the video that I'll post later in the day, but those are all stories or narratives that we have been driven to believe. So then we manifest a reality that looks like that. But if you were to unite within yourself with love, the world cannot show anything but love to you. You will see people from a place of love. You will understand that you are love and that you create this reality of love. But it can require some work if you have a lot of stuff in your heart chakra, okay? But today, even if it's today and it's for 5 minutes, 10 minutes, they want you to sit and you can listen to that song or anything else that you feel like that love energy comes through and over your heart and just say, I surrender to love. I surrender to the universal source love. I am love. Help me remember that I am love, that I am the hope that the world was looking for. And I say that because you are here to remember this part. And I understand that I had talked about finding purpose, and I will share videos about that. But really, your biggest purpose is to remember that you are love, that we are all love, that we all came from love, regardless of what we look like, our beliefs, we are all love. And when we start to remember that, we start to really remember that we create our reality based on that. If we believe love has won, that's all that we can ever experience. And it doesn't mean that that stuff doesn't happen. It's just a choice whether we are going to choose fear or love. And that is the energy of January right now, is whether you are going to choose fear over love. And because of many, many, many lifetimes of garbage that has happened since Atlantis, Lemuria, ancient Egypt, Roman Empire, you name it, we have been trained to be manipulated by fear because we didn't think we had a choice. We thought that the world outside of us was all that there is. And really, in this 2025 energy, in this rise of the feminine, we're remembering that we are it. The world happens for you, not the other way around, or that you happen to the world versus the world happens to you. And to do that, we must choose what version of the world we want to see and manifest in 2025 and beyond. That, and if you want it to be love has won, which is what something I have been saying to myself for months now, I was definitely feeling that again this morning with like a giant smile on my face that I couldn't wipe away. We're being asked to choose. And that means we can't pay attention to the narratives that are being sold to us outside of ourselves. They are that. And we get to choose as to whether or not that's part of our reality or not. And that song is a call back home. So, Oh Holy Night is about coming home to love. So substitute the words that are Lord and and if you believe those words signify love, then leave them. A lot of times I'll say fall 20s in love. So it's it we live in a duality dimension. So 3D, you get both this love fear thing, but it's our choice in what we're going to focus on and what we're going to believe in, regardless of what's happening around us. If you keep your eyes on the prize of love has won, and you believe that that's possible, regardless of what's currently happening in the world, then that has to happen. You create your reality. All of those things outside of you are just narratives that other people have made as their own stories, which again, I'll explain all of that in the video that I created yesterday when I post it later today. I know this is backwards, but this is how I'm being shown to do it. You create your own reality instantly in seconds when you choose not to plug into all the fear narratives or the anger narratives or all of those things. That's not who you are. You are not fear. You are not anger. You are not anxiety. You're not worry. You're not powerless. Source created you to be powerful, each one of us, and being able to create our own reality, to be able to create our own experience, to remember that we are loved. That is part of the purpose. That is part of your purpose, to remember that you are love and this universal force of love, which again is more a feeling and not something that I can really explain. I have felt it. I know what it feels like. Usually there's a giant smile on my face and sometimes tears, and I get these uh, tingles throughout my body. It's like this like firework in my body. And each one of you are going to experience that energy of love differently than I am. But if you're somebody who gets that from time to time, sometimes people say that's truth, feeling those sparkles, but this isn't really goosebumps. It's literally like this wave of energy runs through me. And it's beautiful. And your cells radiate at this beautiful frequency because this love is a frequency, right? And it just feels wonderful. We all have that ability to access that, and it's not something outside of ourselves. Nothing has to happen outside of ourselves for us to choose this. We're not here to try to fix all the narratives or all the blame or all the anger. That is all just narrative stories that we have agreed to tap into and create part of our reality. And we get to change those stories. And it starts with you understanding that you are love, that you are universal love, that every single soul that exists on this planet, whether they're whoever they are, started as love. And it doesn't matter who they are. It matters who you are. You are creating your experience. So it doesn't matter who they are. You are love. We all came from the same place, we as love. And one of the things that I have made an intention with for the new year is that we start to recognize ourselves as souls instead of seeing each other for the clothes that we chose to wear in this life. We have all been male, female, we've all been different cultures and different religions because this is how your soul, your higher self grows and expands. It comes and wants to experience different viewpoints and different realities and different cultures and different rules and whatever. So we've been all those things. So if we started to recognize ourselves as souls, and that's one of the things that I didn't know I was doing when I first started doing the work I do, but and that's how I approach each and every client. I see you as the soul you are. It can be frustrating at times because I can see this powerful soul inside of you, and they may not necessarily be really believing in that and giving it that love that it needs, but yet I do. And I know this because people would come to me and they'd say, "Hey, my name is, I don't know, Amy." And I would always call them a different name. And I would say, um, I finally asked source. I said, why can't I not remember these people's names? I normally don't have that problem. And I heard that's because that's their soul name, and the name that they have, their given name in this life, isn't that. And then I understood that I connect to the soul. We all can do this. It's just a choice. I'm choosing to see the beauty of the soul that lives inside that vessel instead of whatever genetics or clothes or whatever they wear. And when we start to realize that we're all souls and we connect to that soul, which is made of love, um, it will help bring balance back into the world. And that's part of what's going on, is that the world is very out of balance, and we're in a course correction. But that course correction doesn't have to be hard. We can just follow the breadcrumbs, include in the song that I heard this morning about falling to your knees in love. And not just with the universe's source love being outside of yourself, but falling in love with the love that you are, that radiates out of every single one of your pores on your body, whether you know it or not, and connects you to that universal force that lives all around us and inside of you. Um, that's one of the things that they're saying right now, is to remember that this force that you are surrendering to is not outside of yourself, it's inside. And when you do that, you shift your frequency to a higher bandwidth, to as high as you can get to, because not everyone can move in the same bandwidth just because of where you are on your soul's journey. And there's no judgment there at all. Everyone is where they're supposed to be. So, can you surrender to universal love? Which are you choosing to focus on? Fear or love, or actually any emotion besides love, powerless, fear, anxiety, anger, whatever it is? Are you choosing to focus on those things? Or are you choosing to choose love? Choosing to believe that love has already won. And when you start to believe that, you'll start to see your world change around you, because you will quantum jump to a timeline where love has already won. For many years, in growing up and in last couple of years, a lot of people talk about how the people outside of them need to change first before they can have that love. Please don't do that to yourself. They're just playing the narrative out of the story that you have inside of you. They cannot change your story. The only person who can change your story is you. So you need to do the work as to why you continue to play that same story in your head, consciously or subconsciously, believing that something outside of you needs to change first before you can change yourself. You are just perpetuating your own suffering, potentially helping create an agenda that will make you more angry or have more blame or fear. So this is really about you, though, you know, and where you are putting your focus, because your focus is what you'll get more of. What, the universe doesn't, from a manifesting standpoint, does not know good or bad. It just gives you more of whatever you focus on. So if you focus on the fear or the anger, you're just going to get more of that. Regardless of what happens, you'll just get more of it. But if you focus on love and you believe and you keep saying to yourself, no, love has won, love has won, love has won, you will start to see the beauty of that unfold, because you'll start to manifest the proof of that instead of the other. And then you'll start to see how magical and beautiful you've always been. You had just forgotten. And we all have forgotten, including myself. I've had to remember and go through all this. And I'm here to now share those things with you so that you can remember yourself, that you have this power. You are just seeing the reality of the frequency that you believe within yourself. That is how you connect to timelines. That's how you quantum jump. In previous videos, I talked about the stream of consciousness, and that is part of it. But it's also what you're choosing to focus on a daily basis. If you're focused on the fear and anxiety, it's time to choose different. Do you want the world to be different? Do you want your life to be different? Then with the new energy of 2025, choose differently. I'm choosing to surrender to love. I'm choosing to show, I'm choosing to surrender to love and see what's really possible. Um, One really quick thing about anxiety, just a little tip for you. If you're somebody who suffers from anxiety a lot, not to say this, but when I have a lot of anxiety, it's because I'm not grounded. And the minute that I ground, the anxiety softens. I don't really have that anymore, but when I used to, um, that was a big key for me. I understood that I was only having those thoughts because I wasn't plugged in. And the minute I plug in, the anxiety goes away. So that's just a tip. It may help you, may not. If it does, great, right? But back to the love. In that love space, there is no anxiety. There is no fear. There is no anger. It is just love. You know that everything is going to work out for the highest good. You trust source to unfold that. When you surrender to love, you give permission to your higher self and source to allow your highest timeline, your highest experience to unfold in your life. It's only when we worry and we stress and we about tomorrow that we get into problems with manifesting or experiences in our lives. And when we surrender, it's in the moment. It is right now, not tomorrow, not a month from now, not, when something happens. We're being asked to surrender in the moment right now. You are the magic. You're the one who gets to write your own story and use your imagination to create a story that you love. And it's joyful, and you wake up excited for the day. You have that power within you. And it's time to remember that. More videos on that to go. But for today, can you surrender to love? Can you believe in universal source love? Can you allow yourself to drop the how and having to know why and all the questions and literally surrender to source? Fall to your knees in love and feel the energy of that radiate through you and give it all your worries to source. Last night I got a song, and that's exactly what it was. Like, surrender all your worries, your concerns, all of the negative storylines to source. And I did that. And every time something would come back, I would say, no, I surrender. No, I surrender. No, I surrender. No, I surrender. And yes, sometimes it sounded like a broken record, but I knew that I needed to do that was the way through. So the question for you is, can you surrender to love fully? Surrender it, all your fears, your anxieties, anger to source. And remember that you are love. And when you remember that you are love and you can surrender to that love, your life will change because you will move to the timeline where that is true. And you will have more joy, more contentment, more empowerment, more peace than you could ever know possible. So which is it? Have a great weekend. There will be a second video today, and I will see you next week. Bye for now.